And boom. And away we go. And away we go. And YouTube is live and Instagram is live. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
All right, live action right now on the Senate floor as they try to break through this impasse on the longest shutdown of the federal government in modern history. So Democrats are making a list of demands to get the government reopened ahead of their potential 15th vote, which could come at any time now on this Friday afternoon. Listen to what Minority Leader Chuck Schumer proposed just moments ago.
Democrats would like to see an end to this shutdown, and we want to respect Leader Thune's desire not to negotiate on ACA until after the government reopens.
What's
Therefore,
up, Sammer?
we'd like to offer a simple proposal that would reopen the government and extend the ACA premium tax credits simultaneously, and then have the opportunity to start negotiating longer-term solutions to health care costs.
Okay, so there you are. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy joins me now. He serves on the Budget and Appropriations Committee. Senator Kennedy, welcome. Always good to have you with us. What is your response to Chuck Schumer's proposal here to keep those ACA benefits going for another year, bipartisan committee to work on those, and reopen the government with a clean CR?
God, please give me patience, because if you give me strength, I'm going to need bail money. What Senator Schumer is suggesting is that we do the dumbest thing possible that won't work. Stupid should hurt more. Senator Schumer says we should just extend the status quo for a year. What does that mean? That means that we would have to take $35 billion of taxpayer money and give it directly to the health insurance companies without any commitment of lowering premiums. How is that going to reduce health care costs?
What's up, Diane?
How's that going to reduce premiums? The health care companies are going to take $35 billion from the taxpayers and put it into their pockets. I mean, duh. I don't know what Senator Schumer is thinking. Earth to Chuck. I mean, earth to Chuck. Am I going to vote for this? The short answer is no. The long answer is hell no. I think we're just going to have to get used to the fact that we've been in a shutdown. We're going to be in a shutdown for a while. I voted 14 times to lift the shutdown. The Democrats and Senator Rand Paul have voted 14 times to keep the government shut down. We're just going to be here for a while.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like what Senator Schumer just proposed is really any different than where Democrats have been all along. They wanted $1.5 trillion. You say $36 billion. I guess there's a lot of different numbers on this package. But to keep the Obamacare benefits were expanded during COVID. And of course, once you give something, very hard to claw it back. So that's where we are right now. And so the impact is of having that extension pulled away is making people's new health care benefits rise. But as you say, it's not fixing the problem in terms of lowering costs. Is there any, I just spoke with the former Governor Sununu, and he said, what they need to do is accept Senator Thune's next proposal and agree on it and get Democrats across the board on it. What do you think that is going to look like?
He's just going to bring up the same resolution that he's brought up 14 times. Look, if we've learned anything during this shutdown, we've learned that the Obamacare Affordable Care Act exchanges, they're not working. They're not lowering health care costs. Extending the status quo will just be putting fresh paint on rotten wood.
So
Why would we want to do that?
Excuse me. President Trump has a solution, and he talked about it again today. Watch this.
I am totally in favor of terminating the filibuster, and we would be back to work within 10 minutes after that vote took place. So we'd pass if we terminated the filibuster. Voter ID, no mail-in voting, no cash bail, no men and women's sports, no welfare for illegals. You could go on and on.
He's just saying you have to embrace it. You have to go for the fact that you have the House, the Senate, and the White House, and think about the things that you could get passed if you're willing to do this. Are you willing to vote to eliminate the filibuster, Senator?
Well, President Trump has made his position, at least to me, abundantly clear. I talked to him this morning. He makes a persuasive argument, but here's in essence what he's going to say, or what he has said rather. None of us want to get rid of the filibuster, but the Democrats are going to do it as soon as they're back in charge, so we might as well do it now. My response to the president this morning, after listening politely, was, well, the quickest way, the best way to prevent all that is let's don't put the Democrats back in charge. There's no guarantee that the Democrats are going to take over the Senate in the midterm elections or even after that. The filibuster only pertains to the Senate. It doesn't pertain to the House. So to keep the Democrats from doing that, we just hold the Senate, which we're planning on doing.
Well, that's going to be a big project, obviously, for Republicans for the next 18 months. Senator Kennedy, thank you very much. Always good to hear from you, sir. We'll see where.
Okay, so ding dong, you fill in the rest.
I will not be seeking re-election to Congress. With a grateful heart, I
Finally. Holy cow, guys.
look forward to my final year of service as your proud representative. San Francisco is the greatest city on earth with the most extraordinary people on earth, and a place that I will always believe is heaven on earth. Thank you, San Francisco, for trusting me to be your voice in Congress.
Well, give Drunky credit. She survived it all. The upheaval of the 1980s, the Pendleton Act of the 1880s, unflattering depictions of her in the media, and also in cave paintings in rural France. Yeah, she's old. She's been in Congress so long, her office has 2 water fountains. She's going to retire in 2027, which raises a key question. What happens to us? What happens to this show? What are we going to do without this? The Dems were melting down like Pelosi's face on a hot day. Nancy Pelosi was so enraged by Trump's victory, her eyebrows moved to Canada. With Xi proposing that humans could live up to 150 years old, or perhaps even older. The border was made as tight as Nancy Pelosi's face. It's so hot, Nancy Pelosi had to put on her backup face. James Carville said Trump deserves some credit for the Gaza peace deal. That's pretty brave of him, especially with Nancy Pelosi standing behind him the entire time. So R.I.P. Pelosi jokes. Well, I hope you like jokes about Rashida Tlaib offering Joy Behar mustache rides. I guess you do. True, she's been great for entertainment, but lousy for the country. Remember when all of us were locked down, she got her hair done at a salon?
I take responsibility for trusting the word of a neighborhood salon that I've been to over the years many times, and that when they said, well, we're able to accommodate people one person at a time, and that we can set up that time, I trusted that. As it turns out, it was a setup. So I take responsibility for falling for a setup.
Oh.
What the hell?
A setup. No. Leaving a cheesy gordita crunch in a bear trap outside Joy Behar's dressing room is a setup. The only thing set up was her appointment for new eyebrows. And last year, she tried to spray Febreze on Biden's rotting presidency.
such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States. You got Teddy Roosevelt up there, and he's wonderful. I don't say take him down, but you can add Biden.
Yeah. Look, the only reason for adding
Add Biden to Mount Rushmore, bro. Are we okay? Are we okay? Hello?
Biden to Mount Rushmore
She needed to retire a long time ago, guys.
is that he's already petrified.
Wow.
But it's not like she was much better.
Is that the face that we put up on Mount Rushmore right there? This one right here?
She was much better. Toward the end, she was becoming as unhinged as Joy Behar's Jaws at a steakhouse. That's two.
Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
All right.
Oh.
But it's not a talking point when you admitted you should have called. But it's not a.
Let's hear it again.
Serious journalist coming here with National Guard.
On January 6th.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it.
Let
Why
me
are you
zoom in.
coming
Let me
here with
zoom in.
Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist.
All right.
National Guard. The president.
January 6th.
Shut up. Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a
On January 6th.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
Bro.
All right.
The president didn't send the National Guard. Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
All right. But it's not a talking point when you admitted you should have called the National Guard, which was caught on tape by a camera crew following her for a documentary, possibly one about the joys of sleeping upside down. Of course, on her way out, she had to bring up Trump. Is he just a vile creature?
He's just a vile creature. The worst thing on the face of the earth. But anyway.
You think he's the worst thing on the face of the earth?
I do, yeah. I do.
Kenneth in the chat says, oh no, Jennifer says, the auto pen will look good on Mount Rushmore.
The worst thing on the face of the earth. She's obviously never had to share an Uber with Kilmeade. But don't worry, Nance, the feeling's mutual.
I think she's an evil woman. I'm glad she's retiring. I think she did the country a great service by retiring. I think she was a tremendous liability for the country. I thought she was an evil woman who did a poor job, who cost the country a lot in damages and in reputation. I thought she was terrible.
Ugh, that guy's less filtered than a Mexican water fountain. Now, we got to hand it to her. Pelosi did make history, but it wasn't in politics. It was in the stock market. As a member of Congress over the past decade, she's gotten a return of 816% from her investments and beat the S&P 500 by 559 points. She's so good at picking stocks, retail investors use her like an index fund. There's literally a Pelosi tracker where thousands of people copy every trade her husband makes. And
I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but that's a real thing. They literally have a Pelosi tracker and they make the same trades Pelosi makes and they win.
Last year, it saw gains of 54%, double that of the S&P. She got so filthy rich while her city drowned in drugs, crime, and homelessness. Yeah, the greatest city on earth, San Francisco, went from the Golden City to a 48-square-mile restroom, a city with an app that tracks human street poop. I'm surprised Nancy didn't invest in hazmat suits. So here's a question. What happens to her stock prowess when she leaves? What if those skills were to disappear shortly after she's no longer close to information that impacts the market? Well, it would tell us something we already knew, that Democrats don't get into power after they got rich, like, say, Trump. They get into power to get rich. The rewards don't come from serving the people. They result from the illusion that they're serving the people. It was a great grift, and I got to admire it. Talk about a rich career. It's a shame it only paid off for her.
One even more Fox.
The anchors the No Spin News Show and his co-author Confronting Evil, assessing the worst of the worst, Bill O'Reilly. And he's a Democratic.
Guys, just hit 9,000 subscribers, 9,001 now. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Hell yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Congressman representing Florida's
Yes.
33rd, Jared Moskowitz.
Dude, that's 9,000 subscribers in 6.5 weeks.
Hey, gentlemen.
That's quick. That's strong. Thank you.
Here are the questions from the actual humans. All right, Trump.
And just so you guys know, I am taking live callers tonight. So if you want to call in, let me know. We'll take your call.
Wants to build a new missile defense system called the Golden Dome. Ah, yes, I read about this. That could cost hundreds of billions of dollars. Is that a good use of money?
Well, I mean, look, he's
The golden, a defensive dome, something that will protect the U.S. from missiles.
building. He wants to build an arch on the mall. You know, he's building a place he can dance at the White House.
This dude's a Trump hater. He's a Democrat from Florida, so he hates Trump for sure. Here, there he is.
Do the YMCA. He's going to do that there, and he wants to build a dome. I mean.
Miss Medication, come say hello. Come on. You're just buttoning up your shirt? Come
I
on.
just put on a shirt to say yay. Congrats.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone.
9,000. Yes. Hell yeah. Thank you, guys.
Protect the dance hall.
Yeah, cheerlead.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited. You know, when the Democrats take the White House in 28, when we have the ballroom, you know, the Pride Month in February is gonna be great in that ballroom. But yeah, if we can have a
I don't
missile.
know how serious you are because
He's not being serious.
Well,
Okay.
that I wasn't being serious.
Okay.
But look, the missile defense system, that we have a lot of technology in space that, you know, that are these advanced technology programs, some of which we don't know how we fund because they're not funded by Congress. We move money around in the Pentagon. But I don't have a problem with that. I think that's totally fine. I mean, China's military capability is absolutely increasing, and I don't have a problem if we do a missile defense program. China's, you know, their technology, they're putting it in space. And so for us doing the same thing.
I have a problem if we don't.
Yeah.
Like, just because Trump thought of it, I'm not against it. Something that would stop the increasing number of rogue missiles that are in this world from maybe coming over here and incinerating me. Yeah, mark me down as a pro.
Mark me down too, bro. I'm down for that too. We have someone in the chat saying, who is going to hit us? Dude, anybody, whoever is planning to, whoever might, I'm down to have that, bro. Protect us.
Now, can we do it? I don't know. You know, I read, you know, he says it'll take 3 years and 180 billion, and they say, well, that's bullshit. It's going to take whatever it is. Of course, everything is over scheduled and never comes in on time or on budget. But that's to me a worthy thing. And the ballroom, I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. I was reading, it shows you like how the media is. Everything is always on one side or the other. When we first mentioned it, it was like all about, oh my God, he's desecrating the White House. Then I finally read, oh, well, you know, they've done shit to the White House before. It's just.
They've done plenty of shit to the White House. Plenty of presidents have done it. Plenty of Democratic presidents have done things to the White House. He's not the first one ever. It's just the liberal media trying to destroy your mind because it's Trump right now doing it.
Building, I think. Also, like, I realized after reading other people, we don't have a place when they have state dinners. They're doing it in a tent. This is America. So do I give a shit that he's doing this to the White House? I really don't.
Well, look, he raised
There you go. There you go. Sammer, you got to learn how to dance, bro. He says he doesn't dance.
Yeah, and it's private money.
You know, and if Newsom wants to...
Exactly. And Neil in the, what is it, O'Neill or is it Neil Park in the chat says Obama with his basketball court. Yeah, the guy built a whole basketball court for $350 million of taxpayer money.
He's president, then he can knock it down, right?
Save your ire for the things that matter.
That's right.
You
But
know,
they don't know
people
what matters.
Well,
you know as well as I do.
I don't give a shit.
That the media...
Exactly. And Sammer says it's private money. It's not even the public's money. Trump did it without using taxpayer dollars.
Well, you know as well as I do.
I don't give a shit.
That the media is not in the business any longer of reporting what matters. It's not. They make their money either hating or loving Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's where the cash register is.
That was very well said, sir. I'm going to rewind this so we can hear this one more time.
Of reporting what, well, you know as well as I do.
Right here. Listen to this.
That the media is not in the business any longer of reporting what matters. It's not. They make their money either hating or loving Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's where the cash register is. What matters doesn't matter to them.
Okay.
Damn, that's where the cash register is. What matters doesn't matter to them. And in the chat, you got Spencer T says, I'm so freaking tired of the people in government who have Trump derangement syndrome and who can only see Orange Man bad. Everything he does is bad. It's ridiculous.
You know that.
Do you think that Mamdani's election will lead more financial organizations to leave New York City for Wall Street South in Florida? Tell me, I've read that term just recently, Wall Street South, Florida. This is your state. What is that?
A lot of Wall Street guys have moved to Palm Beach. It's been happening really since COVID. It's accelerated with increases in taxes. It's not just out of New York. It's New Jersey, Connecticut, it's Chicago, it's California.
So they're fleeing high tax blue states for
Look,
Florida. And
this is the luckiest guy in the world that Mamdani got elected because his district is going to explode. My house, I live 8 miles outside of Queens, has gone up 20% in value since Mamdani announced. Okay?
Wow.
Because people aren't going to pay the punishing taxes. New York is the highest tax state in the union.
But
wow, did you guys hear that? So he lives 8 miles outside of New York City, and because of Mamdani, as soon as Mamdani was announced that he was going to be elected mayor, his house price went up 20% already. Why? Because since he's right outside of New York City, he's not going to get hit with increased taxes. And they don't have the taxes of New York City already, and they won't have the increase that follows Mamdani becoming
your house
elected.
value's gone up.
Yeah, because they're moving to Nassau County.
Oh, they're moving out of the city.
Out of the city, and
I
they can
see.
still take the train back in the city and not pay the millionaire's tax or whatever crazy thing this guy wants. But what people don't understand is he can't raise the taxes unless the state okays it, and the state is not going to okay it. So this is just smoke and mirrors. And the younger people who voted for him, they don't understand that. They don't know what seizing the means of production is, but Ken Griffin does. He's the big Wall Street titan. He knows what it is, and that's why he's down in Palm Beach.
We'll see if they move.
Wow, dude, that's big. In the chat, Arline says, love this conversation. Awesome. Glad you're loving it. Tamara, thank you. Yes, I hit 9,000 subscribers. It's literally only been 6.5 to maybe 7 weeks. I went from 600 to 9,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the show.
I mean, you saw Bill.
They're going to move.
Well, look,
they're already moving.
Hold on, Bill Ackman threatened.
No, they're not.
Hold on.
People say they're going to move all the time after elections.
Listen,
they don't do it.
Bill Ackman said he was going to move.
You know how many people moved out of New York City in the last 3 years? 600,000. They're moving.
Yeah, they're
Wow.
moving. They've been moving from COVID.
Now, how many people moved out of your state, California?
Oh, I know.
Under Newsom?
Yeah, no. People do move.
A
There's no
million.
doubt about it.
A lot. I'm in Southern California right now, guys. I'm in Orange County, and a lot of people are have moved out of California and are moving out of California.
People move in America, and you're right.
No, but they're not moving because they want a better view. They like to keep more of their money
yes,
that
that's
they
true.
earn.
Yeah, that's true.
Look, Florida is a really good case study. So when DeSantis became governor, there were 250,000 more registered Democrats in Florida when he became governor 8 years. 8 years ago. Now there's 1.4 million more registered Republicans in Florida. That's all migration from COVID and re-registration from COVID, 100%.
Right.
So it absolutely is happening. Whether they will abandon New York in droves, I mean, Bill Ackman's a really good example. He said he was going to leave, right? He's been going after Mamdani. He spent a lot of money on him. And then the day Mamdani won, he said, I'm willing to talk and sit down and work with you. That doesn't.
In the chat, someone says, yeah, people have been moving for the past 20 years. It has nothing to do with Mamdani. Yes, it does have to do with Mamdani. They moving out of New York and California because of high taxes and because of the nonsense woke bullshit going on. And Mamdani is going to be charging, he said specifically, more taxes. So it is related. This is all for the same reasons.
Doesn't sound like he's packing
Well,
his
it's not
bags.
everybody, but look, if you're a person in New York City earning $150,000, okay, that's a lot of money for most people in the United States. That's nothing in New York City. 150K doesn't get you very much.
Right.
It gets you In-N-Out burgers, okay? It doesn't get you
Which we don't
more
have in
than
New York
that.
City, but
Which,
it
yeah,
would
we
get
don't
it.
even have those, and I wish we did. So the working people at a certain level are going to say, I'm going to the congressman's state because there's no state tax there. There's no local tax there. I get to keep more of my money. This isn't complicated.
Well, I I've looked at moving because I'd like to keep more of my money too. And
where should Mar move?
I'm not moving anywhere. I'm not moving anywhere.
No?
No.
You're going to stay?
And the taxes here are ridiculous, but it's still Southern California.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, I agree. I'm in Southern California. I'm not moving. I'm gonna put my big boy pants on and make more money to stay out here and hopefully try to make a difference with this show with you guys so we can keep California.
Wherever you move in this world, as soon as you live there for a week, you'll be like, oh shit, I didn't know they had mosquitoes this big here, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
gonna be unhappy there too.
And I miss the fires and the earthquakes.
No, I don't miss
them.
that. Okay.
We have hurricanes.
All right. Do you think Vance or Rubio has a better chance at winning in 2028? Well, they got to wrestle the nomination away from Trump, which is probably not going to happen. Well, I mean, who knows?
You know, it's a totally different country.
What?
In 2028 than it is now. Totally different country next year. These nitwits on television go, oh, this is a harbinger of the midterms. You know how many things are going to change in the next 12 months?
Democrats are going to kill in the midterms for the same reason they killed this week. Democrats are going to wipe.
Depends. It depends. It depends if the prices come down.
Well, it's not just the prices.
Oh,
it's just,
that's the big one.
it's the perception that the people who get into power are always drunk with power. This administration's also just drunk. And they don't like it. Like I said at the beginning of the show, somebody who promises I'll get back to normal, they want that person to do that.
Yeah.
And that's not happening, and I don't see Trump going back. He only knows one direction, and so I think people are going to be unhappy in a year just like that, probably unhappier.
If the economy gets better, the fringe of the Democratic Party, which isn't going to change. These are the people who hate Israel. These are the people who are woke. These are the people ramming stuff down your throat. They're going to sabotage the mainstream Democratic Party.
Well, that may be Bill and other Republicans' hope. It's going to be about the economy. It's not going to be about the stock market. We live in like 5 different Americas now.
Right.
You know, John Edwards used to say there's 2 Americas. There's like 5. Okay, there's many different economies going on, and the people are absolutely suffering. I mean, they are. And it hasn't changed in the year that Trump said he was going to change it. And the more he, has women dancing in martini glasses while saying you're not getting your SNAP benefits.
Right. Yeah.
I missed that. Where was that?
I disagree with both of these guys because I think the Democratic Party, when they had a shot at an election this last year, they screwed it up, and they haven't changed their tune one bit. They are still pushing the same nonsense since last year. Nothing has changed. There's nothing new that's come out of the Democratic Party.
Oh, you weren't invited?
I wasn't. Women in martini glasses?
Well, he I didn't hear about that one. But he had a Gatsby-themed Halloween party, which, again, I don't give a shit for real about this. This doesn't affect anything, but it is such a bad look.
Someone in the chat says they won everything last week. They didn't win everything last week. Blue areas, blue cities, blue districts voted blue. There was nothing new about that.
It is just such a bad look.
I agree.
And he doesn't care. And again, this is going to affect...
He's going to care now. He's going to care now.
I'll show you the pictures later.
Of the martini?
Oh, yeah, no, listen.
You were there?
No, I have the internet. I will say...
You know the internet, Bill, that thing where you get so many viewers?
Listen, if you were planning a really nice bar mitzvah, okay, these were...
And I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, these were life-size martini glasses with women dressed...
Let me make one more point, because...
That sounds great to me. Sign me up.
I'll bring... Next time I talk to the president, I'll
Beta!
figure that out. But...
Beta bear!
The most important thing to Donald Trump, and you need to understand this, is his legacy. And he loses his House or the Senate this time next year, his legacy's shot. That's why I'm saying it's going to be a lot of change, and a lot of change fast in the next 12 months.
Okay, well, there's a prediction. We'll see how it goes. Let me ask a follow-up to the Vance Rubio question. What about Gavin Newsom? Now, I mentioned in the monologue...
He has hair like you. You guys have the same hair.
This is a big one, guys. I'm from Southern California. I've had to deal with Gavin Newsom for way too long, man. I'm wondering, is the rest of the country going to want Gavin Newsom to run the country after he destroyed California? What do you guys say to that?
I wish.
It's a slick back thing.
I mean, you both do have great hair.
There it is. It's true. Look at it.
I wish someone would come up to me and say, Gavin?
No, you don't, Mark.
I do.
You want to be Gavin Newsom?
I want to look like him.
You really? You want to look like him?
Oh,
Look, you're in decent shape for an 83-year-old man.
Doesn't matter. He's older than me, so it doesn't. It's really pointless.
But I think Gavin is having a moment.
Well, he's having a moment. That's my question. Is like he bet big on this Prop 50. It was a risk. He has been a risk taker from the beginning. That's why I always like this guy. He is too far left for me. I tell him it in person. I tell him on the air. He has got to move to the center. He has made some moves to the center.
He's wrecked the state.
Not enough. Well, okay.
I know that doesn't matter.
He didn't wreck it, but yes, I agree. He's too far left for my taste, and he's not going to be president unless he moves to the center. But he's a politician, and I think he has that ability to. And now he looks like he is the front runner. Is he not the front runner for the Democratic nomination?
Damn.
No.
Wes Moore.
Wes Moore, isn't he?
Governor of Maryland.
Oh.
So.
Damn, bro. They're saying no, and Westmore in the chat, they're losing it. Everyone's pissed. They're like, no, hell no, we don't want Gavin Newsom. Spencer T says, no way, Gavin is shit. I live in Nevada, and lately we just take the California policies and say we're going to incorporate them into Nevada. It's BS, my friend. They are pissed.
Wes Moore is tremendously impressive. I just think right now
he'll wipe the floor with.
And that may be the future. I mean, if you know Wes and you've seen Wes, he's amazing. But I think Gavin's having a moment between not just Prop 50, but Gavin is the one who decided he's going to try to do Trump's thing online. Okay, with the press and the tweets and all of that. And what
Gavin Newsom has been doing the press and the tweets, and he's been trying to do all the stuff that Trump does. He's trying to troll like Trump, and you can't, nobody can troll like Trump, bro. Don't try. Every time he tries, he falls on his face, bro. It's sad to watch Gavin Newsom trying to troll like Trump. You can't do it.
What he's done with that is not he's trying to out-Trump Trump, because that's not possible. But what he What he has done is he's shown how ridiculous it all is when it's done by somebody else.
Exactly, bro. 100%.
Okay.
No shot.
And so, look,
no shot.
I think Bill has a point that the other 49 states don't want to be California, but I would say Gavin right now is tapping into the Democratic anger at what's going on.
The fringe.
Okay, no, that's not the fringe.
That's
All
not the
Democrats
fringe.
are angry.
Look,
Okay,
yeah.
it's not just the fringe.
And by the way, a lot of Republicans are angry too.
Oh yeah,
There are a lot of people.
Oh, you bet they're angry. There's no ideology in the grocery store.
Right.
Okay,
Exactly.
everybody's teed off.
Look at that. You said a good thing.
it only took an hour. It only took an hour.
It only took an hour and 10 minutes.
You're just brooding over there.
I'm not brooding about anything.
Most of your guests shrink.
All right.
Come on, you know the game.
Okay.
Is that a short joke because they have me in a booster
I'm
chair
83.
here?
I ought to know the game. So it was in the news today that Elon Musk is going to sign his deal to get $1 trillion if he hits it.
He deserves it.
He deserves it.
He does.
Why
He
not
does.
two? Why not $2 trillion?
I mean, no, he has to.
Why not $2
He
trillion?
has to do things like create 1 million robots, lifelike humanoid robots. I don't want any of those in the world, by the way. They are going to take over and kill us all, but okay.
They already run CNN.
Okay, but
Oh, damn! He called, bro. He just said they already run
I
CNN.
am a capitalist. I am not a socialist, certainly not a communist. But $1 trillion for one person, the question is, should there be an upper level? I don't know what it would be. It would probably pegged to the gross national product, because that's kind of what we did when John G. Rockefeller approached 2% of the gross national product. They did change that law.
And he's in Confronting Evil, my book, Rockefeller. He's in there.
John D. Rockefeller?
Yeah, as one of the heinous evil people.
Oh.
But here's the anecdote to Musk making $1 trillion. Don't buy a car. If that offends you, don't buy his car.
Yeah.
That's capitalism. You don't have to buy anything.
Very true. We have capitalism. You could make the choice to not buy his product. But there's another side to all of this stuff. The guy was smart enough and innovative enough, and he could create, and he has vision. His company was designed, he created his company because he had a vision, not because he wanted to make money, and the money came. There's a difference. I'd rather have someone like that have the money, and actually, not that he was given it, that we gave it to him, but he earned the money. I'd rather that person that earned that money be able to have the money to innovate even further. That's the difference. Who do you want to give that money to? Who the hell would you rather give them? You want to take money out of his pocket and give it to who? Who's going to innovate like Musk right now? Tell me who.
Here's what I would say about that, okay? If you talk about, it's about the economy, the last election, you look at what's going on, we're in these wild swing moments. We have vaccine mandates. The response to that is, we'll get rid of vaccines, right? Trump's doing authoritarian stuff. The response to that is people are...
Here's another one in the chat. Random says, Musk also has paid more taxes than anyone in American history. Dude, who else would you give that money to? You got to think about that. You want to take money, cap the guy that actually earned the money, slept under his freaking desk.
We're going to push socialism. If you...
What the hell is that? Oh, the volcano.
Saying socialism is not going to increase in this country while we're giving out $1 trillion pay packages, then you're just wrong.
Right.
People are going to rise up, and they're going to turn to spreading wealth around when a guy's making $1 trillion.
Depends what state you're in.
Sure, if you're in Mississippi, it might be
If you're in
different.
Florida,
okay.
your state is not going to go socialist.
I'm not saying it's going to go socialist, but I'm telling you, it's going to change how people look at things when a guy gets $1 trillion pay package.
Nobody likes that. I don't think anybody but Elon likes that.
Well, you just said you were okay with it.
No, I didn't. I said, don't buy his car. That's not being okay with it. I wouldn't buy his car.
But other people will buy the car or whatever it is.
That's their right.
It's not.
I mean, by the way, they could have given him $500 billion, which would have gotten him to $1 trillion. He's already worth $500 billion.
It's pegged not to cars. It's pegged to robots. Robots. AI is already. I mean.
But again, think about it, guys. The guy developed SpaceX and has made SpaceX successful, not because he needed the money. He had the money. He wasn't after money when he made SpaceX. He was after a vision of getting to Mars in case something happened to our population on this planet and we needed a second planet, like another place to go to. That's why that happened. And when you do things in life going with a vision as opposed to a hunger for money, it's a very different person. That's a very different innovator. That's a creator. That's a visionary. That's the kind of person you want to be rewarded for their efforts. You don't want to go and reach into that person's pockets, take the money they have rightfully earned. They killed themselves to earn it. You don't want to take it out of their pockets and put it into whose pockets you're going to put it into. Who can do that? You have to think about these questions. When people point and say, tax the rich, don't let them get money, stop this, stop that, what's the next logical couple of steps? You have to think this through. It's like chess. What's your next move? What are you going to do next? Where's that money going to go? To who? You think the government's going to innovate like Musk? Look at your DMV. Look at your United States Postal Service, bro.
Talking about the economy. I mean, there's been 1.1.
Right now we got freaking socialists. We got these liberals who were dancing around happy about being woke that realized, holy cow, woke is broke. Now we're going to be socialists. Don't even know what socialism is. They think socialism is something that has to do with social media or I don't know, who cares? I don't know. It's social hour, have a beer. I don't know what they're thinking socialism is, but they obviously don't know what actual socialism is. It's crazy. What are you going to do? Take money from actual visionary innovators that know what the hell they're doing and take their money and give it to who? To the government to do something with it?
1 million layoffs so far now this year, attributed mostly.
You know what the worst part is? You and I are going to be replaced by these robots.
Oh, not me.
No?
In the chat, Sammer says yes, his SpaceX he did what he did way faster than NASA. The guy literally had to go save NASA astronauts from space. And because of the freaking Democrats, he got to them a year later than he could have. He could have got those astronauts out there, like I think it was 8 months earlier than he did, because the Democrats were playing a political game, not letting him go and actually rescue those astronauts, if you guys remember.
They can replace you. They can't replace me.
Well, then they lose 23 million viewers.
Yeah, no.
Math. Did you ever see Invasion of Body Snatchers? I know for a fact there's a pod with Mark right in there.
No, AI can't be funny.
No, it can't.
That's it. They can't.
Congress may have a better approval rating.
I don't know, bro. AI can do some crazy shit.
If we were replaced by robots.
Final question. November has become what they call No Nut November.
No what?
No nut. You never heard of this?
I'm totally out of it.
Okay. It's this movement in the last few years where men pledge not to masturbate or have an orgasm for the month of November. You don't know about this?
I don't know, but it's too late, I guess. It's too late.
Yes, it is too late. Sorry to tell you, bro. It is too late, sir. Wow.
Moody, Senator Moody. Listen, I don't know if you are a fan of either of those teams. You got some pretty good ones down there in Florida, but I'm sure you support the veterans and those that were signing up on the field there.
The oldest boy in our family is in officer training right now, out there to serve their fellow man and their country. To me, it is incredibly inspirational, not just because we have a family member that is in the Army, but because I now get to serve in this incredible role as the rookie in the United States Senate. To be truly a guardian of this nation. And that's why this shutdown has been so disappointing, so challenging and frustrating for so many.
By the way, those of you that are watching, I have the government shutdown. The Senate is right here. This is the Senate floor. They're supposed to be voting to possibly reopen the government. So we're keeping an eye out on that right now.
Give us.
Yeah, you called yourself a rookie, not me, but I guess it is a little bit of trial by fire now. You're in the belly of it. You've seen the worst of how politics plays into making decisions for Americans. We've had this shutdown for far too long, and it's just a handful, just a couple of Democrats needed. The scuttle is maybe up to 8 are crossing over. I looked at the list. There aren't many Democrats up for re-election. Maybe John Ossoff is one that could be picked off, but outside of that, does that play a big role in how quickly some of these jump over and vote for this?
Well, look, I expect we will take a vote tonight. This will include what we call a minibus, a few of our appropriations bills, and then another stab at a continuing resolution with some amendments. I hope that this will pass. It has to pass. 40 days of a shutdown, the longest in the United States history, is unacceptable. This could have been avoided, but for the Democrats wanting to put on political show and the Americans having to pay a price for that. It's time for them to come to the table. It's long past overdue. I also believe we need to address legislation or a rule change that if we go into a shutdown, that senators don't get to fly back and forth home. They lose money to do that. That their pay gets held, just like our troops and our law enforcement and all of the other people that are hurting. This would have ended a long time ago if we made that rule change, and I've been pushing for that as a new United States Senator. I've been here 10 months, and I already understand quickly why the American people don't trust and dislike D.C.
Well, Senator, we got a lot of frustrations, and I'm glad that you're picking up on those. The American people are wondering why people are getting paid while everything is in disarray. But I want to get into what's at the center of all this. It's the health care issue and this shutdown debate. Democrats are dismissing President Trump's plan to redirect Obamacare subsidies to Americans so they can purchase their own plans. We've got one of your colleagues there, Senator Adam Schiff, earlier today. Take a listen.
We have no idea what the president means by that, except it sounds like what he means is the same old tired proposal of repealing the Affordable Care Act, giving people a benefit in the form of.
Your Democratic proposals are the ones that are the same old tired proposals. You're the ones that are saying you want to keep the Obama subsidies for people making over $200,000 or $250,000 a year, to keep giving them government money so that they could have lower prices while everyone else has higher prices. Now, I would fall into that category, and I am actually down for that. They shouldn't be doing that. I don't know why they're doing what they're doing.
Saving.
And they also want to give a lot of money to, I think it's like, I want to say, is it $30 billion towards illegal aliens healthcare? It's out of control.
But allowing insurance companies once again to cancel policies and refuse to write policies for people who have pre-existing health conditions.
Senator, is he mischaracterizing what the president and some Republicans are supporting here?
This should surprise no one. So the Republicans came together. We started looking at why have we just added another $1 trillion to our national debt in the fastest period in the history of our country? And if you look at the skyrocketing costs of health care, they are solely caused by the structure that we have in place right now. And that is because we found out that it is directly skyrocketing prices to consumers. There's money going to insurance companies like you wouldn't believe. There are people signed up on ghost policies. There is fraud all over the place, money going to pay for illegal immigrants to get health care. So if we are going to lower costs, we have to think outside the box. And this should surprise no one that Schumer, the shill for insurance companies, and Schiff, that they're going to come out and be like, no. Do you know who funds their campaigns? Like, I want to say 90% of donations from the insurance companies went to Kamala Harris in the last election.
Exactly.
I mean,
these guys are they're thinking about their own pockets only. They're not worried about the American people. They're literally trying to fund this bullshit so these other entities, call them, because they're NGOs, USAID. Thank you, beautiful Bill, in the chat. He just said it. USAID, NGOs, these entities, call them, are funding these Democrats. And some Republicans, but the Republicans are voting against it. But the Democrats are kicking and screaming to keep them in place. That's what's happening, people. Think about it.
We have to get a hold of this, but they cannot shut down the government and blame it on, because we have to lower healthcare prices, their healthcare plan totally wrecked prices for everybody across this country.
Dude, they're literally their husbands and wives of these Democratic senators, these congressmen and women, their husbands and wives are the beneficiaries of these NGOs, guys.
And so we've called them
Look
out on
it up.
We have all of these studies that show that. And so when we've called it out and we've ended it, now they're trying to say we're going to shut down the government. Of course they are, because they're losing their gravy train.
Right.
Exactly.
Senator Moody, Kevin Cork here. Frankly, I feel like they should just doze the hell out of the whole thing, because there's a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. Take you up to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Trust me, there's a lot to be found there. But I want to talk about something that you've actually co-sponsored.
Dude, I want to talk about the silver lining in the fact that we have a government shutdown right now for this long. You know what it's done? It's made all of us Americans actually look at this SNAP program. You guys know, we all know now, there's 42 million people on SNAP, a lot of which is bogus. Okay, it's a fraud. A lot of it's fraud, but let's just say there's 35 million or 40, whatever the number is, right? That's roughly 12% of America on free food from the taxpayers. This was not supposed to be a lifelong program for people. This is a crutch in case you need it. You use it for a little while and then you're off of it. You get a job. You don't go on this for life and have you and all of your kids and your family and everyone grow up with SNAP benefits where you're lying and you have other income, but you're getting SNAP benefits too, and you're raising kids in this type of a mentality. You're raising people to grow up to be losers, to not be responsible for themselves. This is what's destroying our country.
That's the Eliminate Shutdowns Act, which is frankly designed to prevent these kinds of things from ever happening again. So I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind telling us about your legislation, and are you getting any support from other senators?
Sir Talk-A-Lot says the Muslim stores exchange them for cash, by the way. I didn't know that, but that's interesting to me, bro. It's not far-fetched.
Yeah, you see a lot of Republican senators pushing forward on these things. We cannot let this happen again. You know, when we have to address policy, if there's something going wrong in this country, like making sure that we can get a handle on this outrageous healthcare system, let's address the policy. But let's not hold our troops and our federal law enforcement officers, which, by the way, are putting their lives on the line every day. Let's not hold them hostage while we do it. And so if we end up in a situation where we haven't passed the appropriations bills and we're going into a shutdown, then we need to have an automatic CR every 2 weeks while we crank out those appropriations bills. Now, I, for one, think that needs to be coupled with senators staying in Washington, not getting paid to go back home, and also having their pay held. Both of those things together would put us in a place where we are pushing these things along, and there's minimal delay in getting the government funded. So important, because I am telling you, this is not about health care. President Trump, the Republicans, the Democrats, we're all committed to making sure that we can lower costs. And that does include pushing money into the pockets of consumers, into the pockets of Americans, so that they can choose and we can open up the free market.
So Senator Kennedy was presenting a bill to do what she just said, to not allow Congress to get paid while the government shut down. Guess who said no to that?
Mr. President. The Republicans have voted 14 times to come out of the shutdown. My Democratic friends have voted 14 times to stay shut down. And I think it's going to be like that for a while. I used to have a beagle, Mr. President. I loved him to death. His name was Roger. He was a rascal. Roger would run off. He was a rabbit dog that we picked up as a stray. Roger would run off for 3 days, scare me to death. I was afraid he was going to die. And after 3 days, he'd come staggering back home, and he always had roadkill in his mouth. And he would hide that roadkill under my back porch. And where we are now, in negotiating out of this shutdown, looks like something Roger used to hide under my back porch. We're supposed to have a vote tomorrow. We don't know what we're voting on, but we've been promised we're going to have a vote. And I hope we do, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we come out of this shutdown very soon. But I'm not going to lie to the American people. I think we're going to be in it for a while. Now, as everyone knows, folks aren't being paid while we're in a shutdown. Our air traffic controllers are not.
This is the bill that he's talking about where they won't get paid.
In fact, starting tomorrow, the airlines are going to be canceling flights. Our staffs are not being paid. Federal employees are not being paid. These young men and women here, our pages, are not being paid. Our military is only being partially paid. I'm confused about SNAP payments. Some say the payments are being made. Some say they aren't. I don't know who's telling the truth, but I do know this. I don't think anybody wants to see anybody hungry in America. The only people that I can ascertain who are being paid are members of Congress. Now, I'm not being paid. I said I wasn't going to take a salary during the shutdown.
Yep.
And some of my colleagues are, and I'm not judging anybody. I'm really the purpose.
So again, guys, this is Senator Kennedy from Louisiana. He just explained he's not getting paid. He's not taking a paycheck. And there's a lot of people that are not. And he's about to propose a bill that would make it so that nobody in Congress gets paid while the government's shut down. And guess who says no?
So this is not to judge anybody. I'm just saying that it's time that Congress set an example. I've got two bills I'm going to offer up today. The first one is called the No Shutdown Paychecks to Politicians Act. This just says that while
So listen to what this look. He's about to explain what he's presenting this bill. Listen to this.
While we're in a shutdown, members of Congress don't get paid, and they don't get back pay. The second bill is entitled Withhold Member Pay During Shutdowns Act. That bill says while we're in a shutdown, members of Congress don't get paid, but they will get paid. They'll get their money in arrears after we open government back up. Now, I'm rather fond of the Constitution, as most people are. I'm well aware of the 27th Amendment, which says no law varying the compensation of the services of the senators and representatives shall take effect until an election of representatives shall have intervened. What that means, of course, is that you can't change the pay for a congressman until after you've had an election. I think my bills are constitutional for two reasons. Number one, we're not changing the rate of compensation. We're just saying during a shutdown, you're not going to get your money. Number two, there is precedent for this. Back in 2013, President Obama had Congress pass what's called the No Budget, No Pay Act of 2013. President Obama's bill said, look, Congress is about to go into a shutdown. Fine, have at it. Knock yourselves out. Go into a shutdown. But if you don't come out of that shutdown by this particular date, you're not going to get paid. And you know what? Members of Congress had an epiphany. They had a Damascene moment. They were born again. They got out of the shutdown and time to be paid. I'm not trying to put down anybody. I'm not trying to condemn folks who have been taking their salary. I'm not saying they don't earn every bit of it, but I am saying what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and I'm going to offer up these two bills for the members' consideration. So, starting with my first bill, which would say members of Congress can't be paid and don't get back pay even after we end the shutdown. That's called the No Shutdown Paychecks to Politicians Act. I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of my bill, that bill, which I just described, which is at the desk. I further ask that the bill be considered read a third time and pass, and that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?
Right to object. I think it's time that instead of closing the government down further, that we begin to open up government. What I will offer is
Rand Paul objected.
legislation that instead of closing government down further, begins to pay those who are working, pays our soldiers, pays our air traffic controllers, pays everyone who's showing up for work. I think this should become a permanent feature of our government. I think it's disruptive, I think it's unfair, and I think it's wrong that we don't pay the workers that are showing up. But a better way than isolating out different groups and punishing different groups is to actually pay those who are working. And I think we should do this. If we pass this legislation, this would never be a problem again. We're going to run into disagreements in the future. We're going to have times when the government shuts down, but there's no reason that we shouldn't be paying our government workers. So I ask that the senator modify his request so that instead of the Senate proceeding to the immediate consideration of calendar item 191, that S3012, that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motion to consider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Mr. President.
Would the senator modify his request?
I will not, Mr. President, and I'd like to explain why. I understand Senator Paul is making a good point. What he's saying is, rather than saying, as I am, that nobody else is being paid, so members of Congress shouldn't be paid, I think what Senator Paul is saying, let's pay everybody. That's what I understand him to be saying. And he wants me to agree to that instead of my bill. What Senator Paul is proposing is Senator Ron Johnson's shutdown, no shutdown act that we voted on several times. And I'm for it. I voted for it several times. Here's the problem I have with Senator Paul's proposal of pulling down my bill and going with Senator Johnson's bill. Several reasons. Number one, I'm interested in passing something. I'm not interested in just putting on a show. My bill will pass the House of Representatives, and my bill will be signed by the President. Senator Paul's bill, I can assure you, will not pass the House of Representatives, and
Correct.
President Trump will not sign it.
Correct.
I'm not saying someone's right or somebody's wrong. President Trump does not consider to be Senator Paul to be part of his MAGA agenda, and he will veto it. And then we're right back to square one. So for that reason, I can't substitute his for mine, because his is going to be as dead as fried chicken here in a few days, and mine has a chance to pass. Now, I need some clarification, Mr. President. Parliamentary inquiry, if you will. Do I understand that Senator Paul has objected to my bill? Correctly?
The senator from Kentucky asked if you would modify your request.
Dead
The senator
as
from
fried
Kentucky
chicken.
asked if you would modify your request.
And his modification, if I might ask, is to substitute his bill for mine.
That is the understanding of the chair.
Okay. I have said I will not substitute his bill for mine.
Objection to the modification is heard.
Okay. Now,
Is there an objection to the original request?
Reserving the right, Mr. President.
Senator from Kentucky.
Reserving the right to object. I think it's actually not clear at all that the president wouldn't sign a bill to continue paying federal workers. I think it's actually a universal sentiment among both parties, among the American people, particularly among the soldiers, that we ought to continue to pay the soldiers, continue to pay the workers. I'm perhaps the most conservative member of the Senate. I vote to cut spending on everything. I think we spend way too much, but I'm not for cutting the salaries of people who have a contract and who are doing their work. Now, I probably would not hire new people, and I would probably let the federal government shrink gradually through attrition, because I think we need to be smaller. But if you work for government, you're doing your job, and you have a contract, I think you ought to be paid. So I don't think it's not clear that the president wouldn't support this. I think it's actually quite confusing that this is being objected by the Democrats. And I think actually it'd be nice to let the Democrats, have a round at this and explain to us why they don't want to pay the air traffic controllers.
W. Truth Spitter.
Look, we can have a dispute over spending. I think the Republican proposal spends too much. I think the Democrat proposal
And Hans is correct, guys.
spends too much. But I think we ought to pay the workers while we're working out the debate over what the spending level ought to be. I think it's actually an untenable position of Democrats to come before this body and say, oh, we want to give subsidies to people who make $225,000 a year. That's what they're arguing for. The Obamacare subsidies are not the basic subsidies. These are add-on subsidies that started 2 years ago. If you make $100,000 a year, the Democrats want to give you $13,000. Meanwhile, people who make $20,000 and are on food stamps are not going to get food stamps, but somebody making $100,000 is going to get $13,000. That doesn't sound like the Democrats are for the working class or for the poor. It sounds like the Democrats are for people making $200,000 a year to get a subsidy. But I think in the midst of all this, with pressure, I think the Democrats could be made to understand and support paying the government workers. I mean, I just think it is something eminently reasonable. I think it is something very passable, and I don't see the president objecting to this. I think the president would sign this in a heartbeat. So I object.
Objection is heard.
Mr. President,
Chair recognizes the senator from Louisiana.
Could I ask for clarification? I have offered a bill to say that Congress does not get paid like everyone else is not being paid during the shutdown. There's been a little bit back and forth. As I understand it, Senator Paul has objected to that bill. Is that correct?
The senator from Kentucky objected to your unanimous consent request.
To my bill to keep, say Congress isn't paid during the shutdown. Is that correct?
To the bill you ask unanimous consent to pass, he objected to the unanimous consent.
I want to bring up my second bill. It's called the Withhold Member Pay During Shutdowns Act. Remember, my first bill that Senator Paul objected to would have said members of Congress don't get paid, just like our staffs don't get paid, just like air traffic controllers don't get paid, just like the military doesn't get paid. We don't get paid until the shutdown is lifted, and we don't get our money in arrears. In other words, we don't recoup our money once the shutdown is lifted. Perhaps Senator Paul will find my second bill to be more palatable to him and his pocketbook. The Withhold Member Pay During Shutdowns Act would say, while we're in a shutdown and everyone else is not being paid, Congress would not be paid. But members of Congress, including Senator Paul, including me, including all members of Congress, would have the right to get the money back to be paid after they're out of the shutdown. In other words, the money would be escrowed, and they would get it once we came out of the shutdown. Again, there is precedent for that. I talked about what Senator Obama did back in 2013. And for that reason, Mr. President, I'm going to ask unanimous consent on that one.
I agree, Sean. It would be pressure on them, but these guys won't go for it. Look, right here, you're going to see Democrats are going to, now the Democrats, first we had Rand Paul oppose his first bill that he presented. Now the Democrats are going to oppose his second bill. Watch this.
I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs be discharged from further consideration of S3057. Is that the right bill number? Okay. Is that the right bill number, Madam Clerk? You don't know? Okay.
Yes.
S3057 and the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration. I further ask that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the senator from Kentucky.
Reserving the right to object.
Rand
The
Paul.
answer is to pay more people, not less people, to try to get through shutdowns without having people go without pay who are doing their job. Now, the proposal was made, and I just simply made a proposal that would pay everybody. And so the senator from Louisiana has objected to paying everyone. So I don't quite understand this. We could pay everyone. We could have paid everyone.
What don't you understand? He's saying you don't get paid unless the government's back up and running. Why are you objecting, bro?
Had he agreed to my motion? My motion was to pay everyone. Pay the soldiers. Pay the air traffic controllers. Pay the staff. Pay everybody that's working. And yet there was an objection. So I don't understand what's going on here. Should the...
You don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure this out, bro. He's saying members of Congress specifically don't get paid during the shutdown, and that will bring everyone to the table so that we can get this thing done.
Emphasis be to pay less people or more people. Why would we try to punish certain groups of people instead of paying all the people who are working? Why would we not do that? So I don't understand the process we've gone through here. We just had a chance to pay all the people. We had a chance to pay the air traffic controllers. We had a chance to pay the soldiers. We had a chance to pay all the government workers. And then there was an objection. So I don't understand what we've gone through here. But I, for one, believe that the workers should be paid. I, for one, believe that we should fix this permanently.
Democrats are going to come in a second. They're going to come in with an objection in a second.
The bill that I have presented is...
Because if I'm not mistaken, in this clip, it goes back to Senator Kennedy, and he says, okay, fine, let's go with this kind of a situation. And then the Democrats put a kibosh on the whole thing.
It's not just to pay them one time.
I think.
It's to pay all workers all the time who are under contract, who show up for work, whether there's a shutdown or not. It's a permanent payday for those who do their job. That was the fix. It's not a niche bill. It's not to punish one group or the other group. It's to say, if you're working and there's a disagreement on the spending levels, that all workers are paid. I don't understand the objection, and I will continue to support paying all the workers all the time they're at work, whether there's a shutdown or not. I object.
Objection is heard.
Mr. President.
Chair recognizes Senator for Louisiana.
A point of clarification. Senator Paul has objected to my bill, or he wants me to modify it?
He objected to your bill.
Okay. I'm not done yet. Let me see, maybe I wasn't clear. I apologize, Rand, if I wasn't clear. I support Rand's bill. It's actually Ron John's bill, but I support his idea. What I'm saying is if every...
Our line is correct. Our line says, what's the point of the shutdown if you're going to pay everyone? That's why Rand Paul's bill is not making sense.
Everybody over here isn't being paid. Members of Congress shouldn't be paid. Okay?
Right.
What Rand is saying, Senator Paul is saying is, let's pay everybody. And he's absolutely right. I support that. But I want to pass something. I want to pass something, Senator Durbin. We live in the real world. And my bill is more likely to pass the House and more likely to be signed by the President than Senator Paul's bill. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. I don't think that the House is going to pass Senator Paul's bill. And I don't think it's any secret. I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but President Trump does not consider Senator Paul to be part of the MAGA agenda. He said that. He's tweeted.
What's up, boo-boo? What's up, State Line?
He did about a squillion times. Am I wrong, Senator Durbin? I mean, he's tweeted it about a squillion times. And he's going to veto Senator Paul's bill because his name is on it. He's going to knock it to Uranus. He's going to knock it into a new zip code. And then what have Rand and I done? We put on a pretty performance. I want to pass something. Now, I tried to pass my bill preventing members of Congress from being paid. And you can pretty it up all you want to, but Rand objected. And I'm not judging him. I'm not judging anybody who's taking their salary. I'm not taking mine, but I'm not judging anybody. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And you either think members of Congress ought to be treated like everybody else, or you don't.
Correct.
You either think that we're more important and smarter and more virtuous than the American people, or you don't.
Correct.
And I think we ought to be treated the same.
I agree.
Now, having said
that,
I said I agreed with what Senator Paul said. I'm just worried his name on the bill is going to get knocked out of the park. So I'm going to put it in my name.
Damn.
Let's do what, it's not Senator Paul's bill, it's Senator Ron Johnson's bill. And what Ron John's, we call him Ron John, I'm sorry, Senator Ron Johnson from the wonderful state of Wisconsin. What Senator Johnson has proposed, and I've voted for repeatedly, says, look, if you're deemed an essential employee right now, you're working, but you're not being paid. Senator Johnson's bill says, we're going to pay you. I voted for that. It also says if you're furloughed, if you're deemed to be non-essential, then you're not working, but you will get paid once we come out of this shutdown. Does that make sense? That's what Senator Ron Johnson.
So he's right now, guys. Just so you understand, he has his own bills that would stop Congress from getting paid. Rand Paul objected to both of them. Rand Paul put his bill up, but Rand Paul's bill won't make it through because of whose name is on it. So he's being the bigger Kennedy right now that you see as being a bigger man. He says, I'll go along with this, put my name on it. And he's trying to make this thing work. All right, I'm going to play this. So before I play this, I want to let you guys know, first of all, thank you for subscribing. I'm at 9168 within just 7 weeks. That's amazing. Thank you, guys. I have a Discord. We have a community, awesome community that's very active. We talk off stream. If you guys want to hang out and discuss things off stream, we're active there. I'm on there all the time, and we're chatting there as well. It doesn't cost anything. There's no membership. You can just go on there, and we're all on there together.
And as I told my good friends,
if you're wondering where the link is, there's a link on my channel page, on my YouTube channel. There's a link to my Discord. You guys can come and talk with us off stream all the time.
Senator Paul, I agree with him. Senator Paul's name is on that bill. It's going to be vetoed 6 ways to Sunday. I'm going to try to put my name on the bill. Maybe it'll get passed, maybe it won't, but I think I have a better chance than Senator Paul. That's just my personal opinion. It's not meant to be personal. So, for that reason, Mr. President,
what a guy.
I'll try the third way. It's not my preferred way, but we got to get out of this mess. I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of calendar number 191.
Watch who objects to this now.
S302, which, as I've indicated, Mr. President, I think we've got a chance to pass the House with it, and I really don't think President Trump will veto it if I explain to him it's Senator Ron Johnson's bill. And I further ask that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
Chair recognizes the senator from Washington.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reserving the right to object, let me just say this.
The Democrat from Washington objects.
We should make sure that every federal worker gets the paycheck that they are owed. And the right way to do that is for Republicans to finally join us and get serious about passing a bipartisan CR so we do reopen the government and prevent health care costs from exploding. Instead, the bill that the senator from Louisiana is asking for unanimous consent for actually lets Donald Trump and Russ Vought decide who they want to pay during a shutdown, and that will allow them to stiff everyone else. President Trump has said he will only pay the people he wants to. He literally said, and I quote, "We're going to take care of our people. There are some people who really don't deserve to be taken care of."
I think it's time to put my hat on, guys. You guys ready for this? Time for the hat. Here we go. Here we go.
And we'll take care of them in a different way. Unquote. This bill would actually let Trump do exactly that. Mr. President, we should make sure all of our workers get paid, not just the workers Trump likes. So the best way to do that is for, of course, Republicans to sit down with us as Democrats, work out a solution to reopen the government. If instead you do as the senator from Louisiana suggests here, then at a minimum, it should cover all employees. And that proposal is out on the table with Senator Van Hollen and Senator.
And she earned the official button. You guys ready for this? Ma'am from Washington, this Democrat from Washington, you are a Trump hater and you are a beta girl.
You are a Trump hater and you are a beta male.
Maybe it could be a male. You are a Trump hater and you are a beta male.
You are a Trump hater and you are a beta male.
Damn, look at that face. Look at her. Look at that look on her face. Let's zoom in, guys. You are a Trump hater and you are a beta male. Wow.
Peters. Thank you, Mr. President. For that reason, I object.
Objection is heard. Chair recognizes the senator from Louisiana.
Mr. President, look, I get it. You know, this is why we're in a shutdown. I just proposed a bill. It was my third choice. But it's better than nothing.
Boo Boo in the chat says, who knows what the pronouns are? Eric says, Medi, she is just greedy and part of the grift. Yes, that's true.
To say everybody gets paid.
Yep.
And my good friend from Washington State objected. I don't know what else to do. I voted 14 times to open up government. I can't change the election. President Trump was duly.
Guys, watch this very closely. This part of his I'll call it speech or whatever. This part of his discussion that he's giving right now. I made a reel and put it on my Instagram, and it's almost at 1 million views in just a day and a half. And I'm going to show it to you, but let him listen to what he says. And now that you guys have been watching this whole thing, you understand why he says what he said. Listen to this again. Ready, set, go.
I can't change the election. President Trump was duly elected President of the United States. He was in a free election. And the American people spoke. And some of my colleagues are upset about that. In fact, they hate the president so much, they've shut down government. They hate him so much that if President Trump came out in favor of breathing to live, they would hold their breath. It's not rational.
It's not rational, he says. You hear that? Dude, listen to this guy, bro. He's cooking, bro. Listen to this guy.
I just don't know what else to do. All I can tell my Democratic friends is,
listen,
look, reasonable people disagree, and I get it. But you're just being too emotional. You need to go drink a big, old, cold, tall glass of get over it and realize that President Trump is the President of the United States. Don't shut government down because of it. Mr. President, you've been really patient. And even though the parliamentarian tried to get you to dodge my questions, you answered them straight up, and I really appreciate it.
Wow. Wow. Here is that reel. Remember I told you I made that reel? Look at this right here. You ready for this? Look at this right here in the center of your screen. You see this one that's blinking? 730,000 views.
You need to go. You're just being too emotional. You need to go drink a big, old, cold.
I created this reel from scratch right after watching this because I was like, man, this is insane. But listen to what he says again.
You're just being too emotional. You need to go drink a big, old, cold, tall glass of get over it. President Trump was duly elected President of the United States.
He was, and he is your president. He was duly elected in a free election. He is doing what he told us he was going to do if we elect him president. You need to get over it. He's your daddy. He's your president. Trump is your daddy for the next 3 years. Get over it. Open the government. Come on, you losers.
You're just being too emotional.
You're just being too emotional.
You're just being too emotional. You need to go drink a big, old, cold, tall glass of get over it. President Trump was duly elected President of the United States. He was.
Yep.
In a free election. And the American people spoke. And some of my colleagues are upset about that. In fact, they hate the president so much, they've shut down government. They hate him so much that if President Trump came out in favor of breathing to live, they would hold their breath. It's not rational.
Literally.
You're just being too emotional.
It's
you need
not
to
rational.
go drink.
It's not rational. It's not. They've lost it. They've completely lost it.
Senator Moody, it's Nicole Sapphire. You were mentioning earlier about these rule changes to kind of avoid some of these shutdowns from ever happening again. President Trump is still calling for Republicans to terminate the filibuster, warning today that Democrats will, quote, do it the first chance they get. Senator, does Trump have a point, and should it be abolished while Republicans still control the Senate and the White House? Would you support it, or are you concerned about the potential downstream effects?
Well, he absolutely has a point, and a lot of my colleagues agree. You know, think about what the filibuster is. It is a way to get to a vote on a policy issue. So if you think of it like a drawbridge, you know, a drawbridge to get down so you can focus on a policy issue, and a 40-day shutdown, there is a problem. The longest shutdown in history, there's a problem. So what that reform looks like, it can take many different forms. We could push them all to the floor and actually make them filibuster. We could do it as specifically as to CRs. We could do it as if there's a shutdown. We could do it as to the entire filibuster, but it has to be addressed because when the filibuster has been tweaked over time, and remember, this is a procedural rule passed by the Senate, it's been done because you had senators coming together in a deliberative fashion, in a good faith way, understanding their roles to actually operate this country, and it's not working. The drawbridge is up. We can't get to a vote. It's not coming down. We now hit a record shutdown. That is a problem. So we have to start thinking about it in a serious way, but understanding we have a duty to deliberate and make sure that we're passing good policies for the American public. That is also important. So I understand President Trump's frustration. I am frustrated. I think we need to consider all options.
Senator Ashley Moody, thank you so much for.
What's up, man? Eric M says Rand Paul is a really. This is in the chat. Eric M says Rand Paul is really a Democrat, but is Republican in name only because he is in a red state and would lose if he ran as a Democrat.
For joining us. Thanks for your insight.
Wow.
Jeff Van Drew. Congressman, first, how are you feeling about this report that there could be a test vote tonight? And if it passes, it could lead to a reopening of the government.
Well, of course, that's good. And certainly I'm supportive of that. But I am disgusted with all of it. I'm tired of it. I mean, to be honest with you, there are no winners here. Republicans didn't win. Democrats didn't win. And certainly the American people didn't win. There are losers. I think everybody loses. You know, I talk to a lot of people. And I imagine hopefully most of our members of Congress do. And people on the street, everyday working people, good Republicans, are sick and tired of it. Now, you know, there's fault to go around here. The Democrats, they should have voted for that small little CR. It was a continuation of Biden's budget for 7 weeks. Nothing to see there, no big deal. They've done it many times before. Schumer was too worried about his own butt, whether he was going to survive or not politically, so he didn't do it, and he overreacted. Republicans, on the other hand, guess what? I hate Obamacare too. I don't like it. I don't like the subsidies. It's way too expensive. We're enriching insurance companies, but we don't have a completed plan yet. So if we have to continue it for 1 year more, in order to come up with a real good, cohesive, better plan, in order to keep government open, in order to do the right thing for our people, then we need to do it. If you've got a plan and we're ready to go, then let's do it. And finally, if we can't get things done in the Senate, I agree with the president. I've been saying for weeks and weeks now, maybe more than weeks, probably months, end the filibuster. The Democrats are not going to abide by it. For God's sake, they won't even abide voting for for a simple little continuation of Biden's budget? Do you really think they're going to require 60 votes if and when they're ever in control?
By the way, guys, real quick, if you want to call in and go live right now, you can. Let me know. I'll put you on.
Control and want to get something done, they're not. Let's put on our thinking caps. Let's be intellectually honest, and let's do what our job is to take care of the American people. And finally, no member of Congress, no member should get paid anything until any shutdown is over. And in fact, if there are shutdowns, not only should Congress not get paid.
Eric says, Medi, if Democrats want to give everyone access to affordable access, then give us the same 75% discount on premiums they enjoy thanks to the Oh, you're talking about Congress. Yeah.
They never should be reimbursed that money because guess what? It's Congress's fault.
Yep.
And I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. And American people are tired of it.
Random says he's way too annoyed to call in tonight. It's all good, bro. They got you triggered, dude. I know. That's what they do best, man. They try to get under your skin like that.
I think a lot of American people would echo your sentiments about that paycheck. We learned from Chad Pergram in the last hour that unfortunately, maybe that is not constitutional to withhold.
Sounds like Min has the same problem. She says if I call in, she's going to go off.
Pay from you and other members of Congress. A former Speaker of the House is sitting on the sidelines, kind of, well, laughing is probably not the right word, but let Kevin McCarthy explain how he feels about this shutdown. Listen.
I call it the Seinfeld shutdown because it's really about nothing. It's their weakness of political willpower to do the right thing just to keep the government open because it can't have change. They're coming after their Tuesday elections where they did well. I don't understand why they're keeping it this way, except they think that others will fold and do whatever they want.
Because that's what these shutdowns always boil down to. It's the party that is not in power that is trying to exercise the levers of power that they don't have because they don't have, in this case, the Senate, the House, the White House.
Look, maybe Republicans shouldn't get blamed, but they are too. Believe me, it's at least 50-50. Most people, regular people working that have to pay all the damn bills, they are sick of it and they believe pox on.
I'm getting sick of it. I'm about to put Jesse Lee Peterson on, guys.
Both houses.
You know how I get, dude.
That's the truth. I'm a conservative. I'm a Republican. I'm glad to be one. But we've got to also get things done, and the government needs to be open. And as far as members of Congress and their pay, you can voluntarily give it up, which I did. I know there are a few other members that have as well. We need to change the Constitution on that. Believe me, we won't have any more shutdowns if members of Congress don't get paid and if they don't get reimbursed for the time you're shut down. Then we'll always have the government open and be able to get more work done.
Yeah, it would be nice to see. Let's.
You guys want to call in? I'll put the number. Okay, you guys are asking for the number?
Let's hope there are some others who agree with you. New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Congressman, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News.
No-Spin News Show and his co-author, Confronting Evil, Assessing the Worst of the Worst, Bill O'Reilly. And he's a Democratic congressman representing Florida's 23rd, Jared Moskowitz. Okay, gentlemen. Here are the questions from the actual humans. All right. Trump wants to build a new missile defense system called the Golden Dome. Ah, yes, I read about this. That could cost hundreds of
Golden Dome. I like the sound of that.
billions of dollars. Is that a good use of money?
Well, I mean, look, he's building, he wants to build an arch on the mall. You know, he's building a place he can dance at the White House and do the YMCA. He's going to do that there. And he wants to build a dome. I mean,
you got to protect the dance hall.
True. By the way, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. You know, when the Democrats take the White House in 28, when we have
Golden Dome,
the ballroom.
It has a nice ring to it.
You know, the Pride Month in February is gonna be great in that ballroom. But yeah, if we can have a
I don't know
missile
how serious you are because
He's not being serious.
Well,
Okay.
that I wasn't being serious.
Okay.
But look, the missile defense system, that we have a lot of technology in space that, that are these advanced technology programs, some of which we don't know how we fund because they're not funded by Congress. We move money around in the Pentagon.
You guys ready for Jesse Lee Peterson?
I don't have a problem with that. I think that's totally fine. I mean, China's military capability is absolutely increasing, and I don't have a problem if we do a missile defense program. China is, their technology, they're putting it in space. And so for us doing the same thing.
I have a problem if we don't.
Yeah.
Like, just because Trump thought of it, I'm not against it. Something that would stop the increasing number of rogue missiles that are in this world from maybe coming over here and incinerating me. Yeah, mark me down as a pro for that. I'm pro having, now, can we do it? I don't know. I read, he says it'll take 3 years and 180 billion, and they say, well, that's bullshit, it's gonna take, whatever it is. Of course, everything is over scheduled and it doesn't ever come.
Okay, guys, if nobody's going to call in, I'm going to put on Jesse Lee Peterson. We're going to close out the night with a little bit of comedy, guys. Here we go.
John, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey,
How's it
John.
going?
All is well, sir.
So, yeah, I was calling because I am about to have my first child in just a couple of weeks.
Are you transgender?
No. No, my wife.
Oh, I thought you were having a baby.
No. My wife. I'm about to become a father.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got you now.
Smack the Donkey's in the chat. What's up? That's the first time I've seen Smack the Donkey. But yeah, JLP is the GOAT, sir.
Yeah.
Or ma'am, I don't know.
And as far as legal immigration, we need to stop it. We need to stop we need to put a moratorium, they call it, on legal immigration.
Lawn care. W lawn care too, bro. We got a caller. Here we go. Who's calling in? Let's see. Let me go here.
From
Sir Talk a Lot.
Hello, you're on the air. You're live. Who's this? Hello.
I'm in the air.
Now's your time.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, bro. Who's this?
The Sir Talk a Lot.
Sir Talk a Lot, bro. What's up, bro? How you doing?
What's up, big bro? Hey, man. I want to give you a big shout out, bro.
You the man. Thanks for calling, dude.
You honestly got leverage to take all the fans from WABC Radio.
What's that?
You got the opportunity to take all of WABC Radio in New York. Take all their fans, bro. They're whack. I'd rather hear you.
No kidding, bro. You the man. Hell yeah, bro. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I appreciate you too, bro. I just want to say something real quick because I heard what I had said in regards to the food stamps.
Yes. Go ahead.
In regards to like that, they cash them out in the hood people. They cash them out, and they use some of it for food, and then they're gonna use some of it to buy drugs, bro.
Yes, I remember what you were writing in the chat about them using the SNAP benefits to go and get drugs.
There's not conspiracy. Like I'm out here. I see this, and I feel like it's a duty of mine to say this because it's almost like I don't even think Trump knows this is going on. Right?
A lot of people don't know what's going on, bro. What you're saying is true.
That's like $1 billion a month.
So you're saying out where first of all, what state are you in again?
Sir, talking a lot. The point was this, right? That
what state are you in?
Huh? What you said?
What state are you in? Where do you live?
The state where I'm at is, let's say, it's a Democratic state.
Is a Democratic state, and you're saying you see firsthand people taking SNAP benefits and using them to buy drugs.
Straight up.
Straight up, bro. Wow. Yep. We're not surprised.
And liquor, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They
liquor.
Maybe they'll do their nails or something,
Yeah.
Whatever, buy some Jordans.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not lying, bro. Yeah, I know. I know.
It makes you sick because I grew up in that, and I'm not interested in that. And you're right. It's something to help people. But we're talking about watching your community kill itself, your friends, your family, and they're really just dying off fentanyl. They're getting sold fake drugs. They're getting sold weed with sprayed up chemicals in it.
Yep, absolutely. You missed it, bro. I don't know if you saw this morning. I had a guest on. His name is Frank Zanu, and we just talked about this for we had a 3-hour. I had a 3-hour interview with him this morning, and it's on my YouTube. You can see the video. He talks about it. He's black, and he sees this stuff. He was there. He says, a lot of this stuff is going on, and it's not helping. It's hurting our country.
It really is. And honestly, it's like I see friends of mine who work for a living, and they hate seeing people with food stamps because they look at it like, hey, and I'm a real estate broker, right?
Yeah.
I'm a real estate broker, right?
Right on.
So 90% of my clients would call me, and they all have benefits.
Yep.
Whether it's Section 8, food stamps, Medicaid.
Yep.
All these government funded that taxpayers are the ones paying for. They want they want the best of everything on top of it. They're usually, unfortunately, uneducated people who are struggling, trying to get their life together. They come from the stigma associated with it, the projects, the streets, or whatever.
100%. 100%. And the thing about it is, a lot of the people are on all three of those benefits that you just mentioned. They're on.
Three of them, man.
Yeah. Exactly. They're on the SNAP, they're on the Section 8, and they're on the healthcare. They're getting it all.
And to be honest with you, my father had it when I was a child. You know what I'm saying? We all grew up and moved out and got jobs and are educated.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what they say. It's supposed to be used as a crutch to help you. Correct.
I totally agree with you, man. And I don't mean to fluff up your show, but I was just like, you know what? I'm seeing what is going on, and I would tell friends of mine, like, why you mad you're not getting food stamps? You could just go and sell that and go get you some drugs anyway that probably cut up with some fentanyl. And what you gonna do? Like, what are you doing this for? Like, you're not even gonna buy your kid no food. You gonna smoke weed in front of the little kid. Abuse the kid, like, get in your room, and it's like,
exactly.
And I'm like, as a friend, I should be telling you, I should care, be like, yo, bro, like, relax with that stuff, like, stop being mad about, like, you just tweaking because you need some drugs, and Trump is not the one holding your drugs for me.
Exactly. They need to get their lives in order, and they need some good role models, and it's good someone like yourself to tell them, hey, quit that shit, man. Get your shit together. So I appreciate you, man. You're not fluffing up the show, bro. I appreciate it. I was looking to see if someone wants to call in, and these other guys in the chat, the beta males in the chat, they're scared. They don't have the guts to call in and speak, say what they're typing.
I hope I could set a trend by being a caller, because
you the
honestly,
man.
I appreciate your content.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. You're the man. Thank you so much for calling in, dude.
Be safe, be in peace, and I'm not suicidal, as they say. So I'm gonna be careful what I say. I don't want to get treated like Charlie Kirk out here. God forgive him. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Where it's like what's going on is a war.
Yeah.
So if we got people standing on the right side,
yep,
it's gonna work out better. It's like I honestly think that they should implement some sort of like drug testing thing that they said they were gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, if you're on drugs, you can't get no food stamp.
Yep. I think they got to do something, and that's what I said. That's what I said earlier in the stream. Is they got to figure some shit out, because this shit. There's 43 million people on this SNAP, and it's not supposed to be.
By the way,
you're in New York.
40 something million. I heard you, but. So, bro, you said 40-something million. We're talking about half of them instead of that, bro.
Wow, bro. Wow.
It gotta be, bro. I'm in the streets. I'm just out here. They always think I'm a cop, and I'm like, I'm just a real estate agent, too. But I'm in New York, you know what I'm saying? And I am Dominican, but I'm American first. You know what I'm saying? My parents are Dominican, but I'm a light-skinned person. Like, your complexion, like, you feel me? You look like a brother. That's why I enjoy listening to you, too. You feel me? So I'm just like, so the point is this, is like, people like me, like, we seek good, like-minded individuals.
Yep. Well, dude,
And,
thanks
like,
again for calling, dude. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate your show, and I hope that people will take this like a radio station and give this man a call, man. Give him a shout out. It's cool, bro. What's your name
Let's
again,
go,
man?
baby. Let's go. Absolutely. Right now, we're looking at Jesse Lee Peterson taking calls too, so it's good. We're doing it, bro. We're moving on up and making it happen. Thanks, man.
I'll be here for the ride, man. But what's your name again?
Like medication.
Oh, all right, so that's why you call it medication. Copy.
Yes, sir.
Are you Islamic? Are you Islamic?
I'm not. I'm not Islamic. I'm not any religion
With
at
all
all.
due respect, no, because you said I meant like what's your background? If your mom asking.
Oh, no problem at all. My parents immigrated here from Iran, so they're I'm of Persian descent. Yeah.
All right, so Iran is cool. I ain't got no smoke with y'all. You heard? I love y'all. You and that's what I'm saying. Something to oppose it, then it is what it is. You American.
That's what I'm talking
too.
about, bro.
It's like
Fuck
me.
yeah.
I'm Dominican, bro. We got to put our country first right now. Like, where we from, don't even give a fuck about us.
I'll tell you, I'm America first, and that's why I'm here doing what I do, man. Because we gotta, like you said, we had what happened with Charlie Kirk and all this kind of stuff, and I said, you know what, it's over. And right at this point, gloves come off. It's time to stand up. We gotta do this. We gotta get down, bro. No more sitting on the sidelines. I'm not playing no games anymore, bro. We're coming out. We're talking about stuff.
That's how I feel, and the worst part is like watching my people. Like, I'm sitting here looking like, you need to fast for 30 days. What you need more for? Like what? Like, some people need to fast for 30 days and not use no food stamps. You know what I mean? Bro, enjoy your night. I'm glad that I made you laugh. I hope my phone call was beneficial to other people, that they can see. They can get it off their chest. I'm just sit there and hold it. Share your thoughts with the man, bro.
Exactly. Thank you, bro. Let's talk again later, man. Appreciate
I will,
you,
man. Soon again, man. Enjoy your day and everything you're doing, brother. I know you. I think you said you in Cali one time, right?
You the man. Thank you, bro.
You're in Cali or something, right?
Yes, sir. I'm in Southern California. Yeah.
That Porsche in the back is cool. Have a good one, brother.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks for your entertainment, brother.
You the man. Thank you, bro.
I'm done with my rant.
Right on. Peace, bro.
Let's
have a
talk
good one.
Bye
Bye-bye.
Shout out, my brother. Ready?
Later. Bye. Dang, bro. Here we go. See, anybody, you guys can call in if you want. We can chat, bro. We can shoot the shit. We're going to do a little Jesse Lee Peterson. Bro, what a good guy, man, huh? Dude, that's awesome. Right on, dude.
For 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, we need to put some auditorium on it.
So, Jesse, I'm a white male.
You white? Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
You know what? I have. I
tell-
have. Just recently. I'm 42 years old. I would say I was probably 37.
And you went
And
to
I
your
have.
mother, forgave her?
I did.
You told her that?
I did.
Oh, good.
And
So
I'm
you.
close to my mother.
Oh, it's not good.
You guys talking about turkeys for Thanksgiving? I fry my turkeys, guys.
A phone, telegraph, tell a woman.
Or am I missing something? You guys talking about something else?
3 ways of communication.
Iran so far. Are you guys talking shit on my where my ancestors are from?
I want to show you this graphic showing China pollution from 1999 to 20.
You gotta fry your turkey, bro. You gotta fry your turkeys. I fry my turkeys, bro. I do 2 every year for Thanksgiving.
17. Watch this.
Everyone is number one.
Really nice watermelons.
Oh, sweet.
Sometimes we would take one of them or so and crack it open right there in the field and just dig out the center of it.
I don't like watermelon.
Beta.
Beta.
But by a poison. Poison that's for too long
haunted this nation. What is that poison? White supremacy. Oh, it is. It's a poison.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a poison. This guy said he participated in the civil rights movement, right? Nobody remember it but Joe. Describe a black person. Are you?
He's not, Jeff.
You just man is a weak man because he's a woman. He's a beta.
No, he's not, Jesse.
Yeah, he's a beta.
No, he's not.
He is a beta.
I can't believe I'm being bullied right now on live on the air.
Disagreeing and complaining about the Jews.
I had a lot of.
Are they white supremacists?
Hold on, beta.
Hold on, beta.
I love it. He tells him, hold on, beta. Stop, Democrat. Stop. Watch, listen. Watch. He's just trying to talk. Watch what he says.
And the Democrats cannot be trusted at all.
Jesse, if the
the
virus is a hoax, why would we need to
He says, hold on, Democrat. Hold on, beta. Hold on, Democrat.
Beta man.
Check him out, bro. Listen to this, bro. This is so good.
If the virus is a hoax, why would we need to close the election? Why do we have to do that, Jesse? No, wait, why don't you explain yourself? Because you're conflicting.
Why are you always interrupting, man? Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you.
Because you're a lying fool, and I don't want the people of the world to hear you.
I don't need you to interrupt me, Mr. Beta Male. Hold on. The president.
Yeah. Oh, you think I'm a beta male? Come on out here.
Hold on, beta male.
Mr. Beta Male.
The president and
come out
all
here,
of us.
Jesse. We'll see who's a beta male.
Hold on, man. We know that the Democrats.
I said the order of God. That men are superior to women, which is a book that is.
Hold on, beta male.
I do a pretty good job of it. I want to.
And fought for women and minorities.
What the?
Okay. I just want to blend in as a woman. That's all I want to do. I do a pretty good job of it.
No, you don't look like a woman at all.
Besides my chin, if I hide my chin, yes, I do.
You gotta do more than that.
Well, that's your opinion.
No, I can. Stevie Wonder can see that you're not a woman.
See, I'm not an adult entertainer. Okay, I don't go to clubs and do shows and dance.
Oh,
I'm a proper lady. I'm just an average woman.
Wow.
What is funny?
Oh God.
What are you laughing at, Jesse?
I'm laughing at you.
I'm laughing
that
at
you
you.
won't debate him. That you have cold feet.
Oh my God,
and that
guys.
you are.
Okay, guys, it's 8 o'clock in Southern California, and it's time. It's time to go, guys. Love you guys. It's time for me to go and have my dinner and go read some Thomas Sowell. Where's my book? It's down here. Guys, I'm still reading this book. I'm almost done with it. You guys read? Anybody reading? If you're reading, you need to read this book, dude. Everybody, go get yourself this book right here. Go and get yourself this book right here. Right here, bro. This is the book right here. Discrimination and Disparities by Thomas Sowell. It's time. Guys, thanks for coming along. That was a great show. That was in this stream. We had 158,000 views. I don't know if you saw it or not, but I saw it. We still have 285 people watching, 158,000 views on this stream alone. And we broke 9,000 subscribers together on this stream. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for, dude, in 7 weeks, I went from 600 subscribers to 9,193 subscribers. That's incredible. You guys are apparently enjoying this as much as I am. I told you guys from the beginning, I have 3 other businesses that I operate morning to night. Besides what I do here, I do that so that I could pay for everything, so that I can have time for myself to do this. That's the whole reason, because I love this shit. And I'm in Southern California. Maybe I can make a difference somehow and make things better and, I don't know, free us of this crazy lunatic Gavin Newsom nonsense. I love you guys. Someone said maybe I could be governor. I don't know. I smoked weed once. Does that hurt? Does that hurt like my chances to be a governor? I don't know if it does or not. I don't think in Cali it does. Let's go, baby. Love you guys. Thank you so much. We're going to keep going. Tomorrow morning, I'll be back. Dude, we're going to hit 10K this week together. Love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow morning, bright and early. We're going to hit this. We're going to have some fun. We're going to go see this girl. Look at this girl on the screen. Look at this girl right here. Do you guys know who this is? Who is this? We're going to see her tomorrow, most likely live, doing a press conference at the White House. This is the lovely Carolyn, guys. That's the lovely Carolyn. We're going to do it together, okay? All right? All right. Love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me. Join my Discord. We talk there off stream. We get together, all of us. It's an active community. It's fun, super fun. I don't make any money off of it. I'm just saying, you want to come and chat and hang out? It's a good time. Thank you guys again. Appreciate it. I'll see you later. See you tomorrow. Live.